Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Detroit Tigers franchise. And we are going to start off the second half of this year, and we're going to jump into the first game. As you can see, we had a bad stretch to end the first half going into the All-Star break, as we lost 6 straight. So we're hoping for a better start to the year, as Spencer Turnbull will take the mound. So let's get into it. Top of the first, Turnbull starts off facing Starling Marte. 3-2 count, and he's going to send an easy broken back pop up to first base for out number 1. Next up, Jerome Driscoll. He's first pitch swinging. He sends a ball to right, and that just gets down in front of Montez. As I didn't dive there because I thought Montez had the speed to make it. But that'll bring up George Springer. Full count, and Turnbull will lose him to put 2 men on now with only 1 out. Next up, Randall Gerchuk. 0-1 count, and he's going to send a ball to pretty deep right field, but that's not enough as Montez ranges back to make the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up Reese McGuire. 2-2 count, and he sends a ball up the middle, and that's going to find the grass in center field. Richard Reyes comes up firing to home, and the throw is not in time as he slides in there just a bit early, and Toronto takes an early 1-0 lead. Next up, Kevin Biggio, I think. But anyways, he pops out to shallow left field. Willie Castro ranges back to make the catch. So, bottom half of the first, Victor Reyes stands in. He's going to send a ball to right field, which is going to get down. And we have our leadoff man on to start the game. Next up, Jeremy Candelario, and he looks at strike 3. And that's going to be out number 1. That'll bring up Nelson Cruz, who was worked a full, or not a full count, but a 3-0 count, and he looks at ball 4. So he walks on 4 straight pitches to put 2 men on and only 1 out, which will bring up Willie Castro. He sends a ball to the left field, and that is going to be caught for out number 2. So Jonathan Scope will stand in now. 2-1 count. He hits a ball to right center, but that's not going to be enough as the center fielder camps underneath of it, and that ends the inning, and we do not score a run. On to the top of the second, Turnbull in another jam, and he's going to get Marte to check his swing, but the home plate ump says he went too far, and that'll be out number 2. Next up, Jerome Driscoll, 0-1 count, and he's going to send an easy pop-up to first base. Miguel Cabrera camps underneath of it, and that will get us out of a jam here, and with the lead still 1-0. On to the top of the fourth, Novalai Marte will stand in with a man out, and he sends a ball deep to left center. That's going to get down and roll all the way to the wall. Victor Reyes gets there quickly, throws it into the cutoff. The cutoff throws to third base, and we are going to get Marte trying to stretch it out to a triple. What a relay there. So on to the home half of the fourth. Jonathan Scope will lead us off. 1-0 count, sends a chopper down the third base line, and that gets through. And Jonathan Scope is going to lead us off here with a single. That is pretty good hitting by him there. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera now. He sends a line drive to first base, and they should have turned a double play there. That is just an unfortunate hit ball. Miguel Cabrera hit a line driver to the first baseman, but we still have men on here as Bob Montez comes up to the plate. He sends a ball deep to left field, and that is over the left fielder's glove, and that is Montez's first home run of his major league career. That is something you don't see every day. Montez, I think, only has like a 19 power, so he doesn't do this often. He's mainly a contact or average hitter, but we'll take it any way we can get it. Tigers now lead 2-1. So we'll go on to the top of the fifth. Jerome Driscoll stands in again. Another jam for Turnbull. He sends a ball deep to left field. Robbie Grossman makes the catch in the foul territory, but the runner on second has 98 speed, and he is able to tag up. Men on the corners now, only 1 out. That'll bring up George Springer with the 0-2 count, and he looks at strike 3. Turnbull gets a big out number 2 there. Next up, Randall Gerchuk, 0-2 count, sends the ball to right field, pretty well hit, but not enough as Montez ranges back, camps underneath of it, and makes the catch to keep the lead 2-1 Tigers. Now on to the bottom of the 7th after Toronto ties the game at 2 apiece. Willie Castro stands in with 2 men out, and he sends a ball to right field, and that is crushed for a home run. Castro's 16th of the year, 411 feet, and that is going to put the Tigers back up 3-2 on that swing of the bat. So on to the top of the 8th, George Springer is up to bat. Ernest Cabrera is pitching, who's started off hot but has struggled as of late. But he's going to get Springer to ground out into the shift for a very quick out, number 1. Next up, Randall Grichuk, 1-1 count, and he sends a ball to left field. That's a line drive, but that's going to die at the warning track as Grossman makes the catch for out number 2. Now this is where it falls apart for Cabrera. Rhys McGuire stands in. He sends a line drive to right field, and that's a no-doubt home run as McGuire ties it up at 3. Kevin Biggio. I'm having trouble with that name. But he sends a ball to deep right center, and that is going to get past Reyes as he can't run it down. And he's not stopping at second as he's going to get himself a triple here to extend this inning. Next up, Novalaya Marte. 1-0 count, and he's just going to drop one in there in shallow right field. The runner is going to score, and Marte is going to catch us napping, and he's going to get himself a double to put himself in scoring position. Next up, Danny Jansen, 0-2 count. Cabrera finally gets himself out of this inning as Montez makes the catch for out number 3. Now on to the bottom of the 9th. Sean Durant is going to lead us off. He is 2 for 2 on the day, 0-1 count. Line drive to center field, and that is easily caught for the first out. Next up, Victor Reyes, 1-0 count, hard hit ball to the right side, but a diving stop by their second baseman, and he's able to throw on to first for out number 2. That'll bring up Jeimer Candelario as our last chance, but he is going to ground out to the first baseman, who feels it and steps on first for the final out, and Toronto's going to win this game 4-3. Now, Ernest Cabrera has absolutely struggled as of late. He's a guy we're maybe looking at sending down to get him some confidence built back up because we need a more reliable arm than what he's been doing for us. So we'll have to see what happens with the trade deadline coming up. So our first trade offer from the Reds comes in, and they are asking for Willie Castro, and they are offering up Nick Lodolo. Now, he is a 22-year-old starting pitcher. He's a B potential, and as I was looking at him, he's a left-hander with a low 90s fastball, and this just doesn't do it for me. Willie Castro, especially with the way he's been performing this year, I feel deserves more than just a middle-of-the-road prospect. You know, maybe he's obviously a B potential, but I'm going to turn this down as we can hold out for more. And then our second trade offer comes in a couple days later, and it's from the Astros. They are offering up Zach Greinke for Jonathan Scope. So with the way Jonathan Scope's performing, I was hoping to get more, maybe a prospect, but this is kind of what we're getting. I'm actually going to pull the trigger on this one. With Wentz still on the DL, it's never too bad to have another arm on the roster. So I'm going to accept this trade. Scope is going to go to the Astros. We're going to take on Greinke, and he's going to slide into the number 2 starter role for us. So I decide to jump into this game against the Reds here. Matt Manning is going to be the pitcher, and I just thought it would be cool. He made his Major League debut last year against the Reds, and it's just cool to see him pitch against them again. So we're going to go to the bottom of the first as we had a quiet top of the first inning before our offense. Nick Castellanos stands in, and he's going to send a ball deep to left field. That one's absolutely blasted for an early 1-0 lead. Next up, Eugenio Suarez sends in, 1-0 count, sends the ball to right field, and we had a bit of a shift on, so that is able to drop in there, and Suarez is going to have himself a double. Next up, Jesse Winker with 2 outs, and he's going to look at strike 3 to finally end this inning. So we're going to jump ahead to the bottom of the 4th. There's 2 outs as Patrick Dwyer comes into bat. He has a 1-1 count, and he sends a ball to the left side of the infield as he's going to get himself a single to keep this inning alive. And that'll bring up Mike Moustakas next, and he is going to send a ball absolutely crushed to right field. And that's going to be a 2-run shot as the Reds go up 3-0 here on the Tigers. Moustakas is 13th of the year. Next up, Luis Castillo, and he is going to line out to right after a walk, and the inning is finally ended. Next up, top of the 7th now, Victor Reyes, and we've been absolutely shut out. But Victor Reyes is going to get himself a leadoff single here. That'll bring up Willie Castro, 1-1 count, and he sends a ball to shallow left field, and that is ran down by Winker for a great running catch. Next up, Renato Nunez, and he sends a ball to left center. That's going to carry, and that's going to get over the center fielder's head as that bounces off the wall. Victor Reyes, who is running hard, is going to score from first as there is no throw, and the Tigers score a run to get back within 2. So it's now 3-1. That'll bring up Jamer Candelario, full count, and he looks at ball 4 low as now we have 2 men on, 1 out. Next up, Brock Deathridge, 2-0 count, sends another ball to left field, and this time it's going to bloop in there. As the runners advance, we have the bases loaded with only 1 out. Now, in between the 6th and 7th inning, we get a call from the Yankees, and they are interested in acquiring Robbie Grossman, and they are offering up the relief pitcher Nick Goody. So this is something that interests us, so we're going to take a look at Nick Goody here and see what we got. Now, the first thing we look at is his contract. He has 2 years of arbitration left, and he's only making $1.6 million a year as it is now. So that is something that is good. That's a pretty good contract to take on, as we're going to shed some contract with Grossman. Now, looking at his attributes, his hits and Ks per 9 are elite level. His clutch and control are still pretty good, are in the 70s. His brakes almost at an 80. His velocity is a little bit left wanted, but that's fine. So we're going to pull the trigger on this. We were just talking about how we wanted to send Cabrera to the minors to get some practice, some confidence back, and this finally affords us the opportunity here. So with that, Grossman's traded, and Akil Baddoo is going to have to come in here. He's going to pitch hit for him. He's going to play the rest of the game as well. So that'll bring up Baddoo to at bat with bases loaded, only 1 out, and he has a full count. He's going to chase a ball just up in the zone. Suarez is going to run back and make the catch. Now we have 2 outs. That'll bring up Sean Durant as we need a base hit to score the run now, and he is going to be chasing. He's going to strike out. That's thrown out to first to end the inning and end the threat. Now on to the top of the ninth. Last chance for the Tigers. Nunez is going to lead us off. He's going to send a ball to the right side of the infield, and that's going to get through, and we're going to have a leadoff man on to start the 9th inning. Next up, Jamer Candelario. He sends a ball to center field, line drive, but that is caught by the center fielder, and he absolutely just takes away a hit from Candelario there. That's the first out. Next up, Brock Deathridge. First pitch swinging, he sends a ball to the left side of the infield. Now we have 2 men on, only 1 out. Next up, Akil Baddoo again, 0-2 count, and he swings under strike 3 for out number 2. That'll bring up Sean Durant as our last chance. Hard hit ball down to third baseline. That's knocked down by Suarez, who picks it up and throws it out at first. He recovers to throw for the final out, and the Tigers lose this game 3-1. And just we could not score a run when we had him in position. And Matt Manning's going to get the loss. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. We didn't have that bad of an offensive day. We had 7 hits. It's just the same old story. We could not score the runs. We could not get that one big hit to drive them in. So after the game, we'd send down Cabrera down to AAA like we were talking about. He needs some time down there to work some things out. Now, with Grossman gone, we need another outfielder. The first one we go to is the free agents, and we find Jay Bruce. He wants a multi-year deal. We'll see if he'll settle for a 1-year prove-it deal, and he turns it down. He wants a multi-year deal. So we move on, and we've come across next is Gregory Polanco. He wants another multi-year deal as well for 5 years, and he turns down the 1-year prove-it deal. We're just not ready to give a veteran multi-year deals yet, so we're going to go back and we're going to look back at Yariel Gonzalez, who's been up and down quite a few times the last couple of years, but he can play everything under the sun, so we're going to move him back up to the Major League roster and for another go. So we get a pretty interesting trade offer here from the Blue Jays. They are asking for Candelario, and they're offering up Gabriel Moreno and Logan Warmoth. And so the first person we're going to look at is Moreno here. He is an A potential catcher, 73 overall. He's already a pretty good fielder behind the plate. His offense is going to need some work, but this is something we're interested in. So let's see what Warmoth has to offer. So we check him out. He's a shortstop by trade, 25 years old, only a C potential, but he can play all over the field. I just don't know if this is enough for us to move the needle. We already have a plethora of shortstops, and if we hadn't just drafted Kevin Ellis in this year's draft, I would have accepted this trade in a heartbeat. But now I think we need a little bit more for what they're asking for. But that is going to do it here as the trade deadline comes to an end. And that is also going to end the month of July, and we did not have a very good month. We were under 500. We went 10-13 in July, highlighted by the 6-game losing streak right before the All-Star break. But let me know what you guys think of our trade deadline. We moved a couple guys. I think we got a couple pieces. Nick Goody is something that maybe he's going to be MLB ready. Obviously, he's on the roster to start going forward. Maybe he can kind of settle down that back end of that bullpen a little bit for us, give us some stability. But let me know you guys know what you think. Should I have made that trade for Candelario? Because that was a pretty good trade all around. So the next episode, we're going to get through the month of August, and then we'll be pushing our way into the September call-ups. But yeah, that's going to do it here. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like. Don't forget to let me know. And we will see you next time here on Cardboard Cutouts.